Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about VeChain. VeChain has, in my view, also here completed the correction, pretty much like many other cryptos. I mean, in terms of completed the correction, I need to be careful. It has completed the requirements for the completion of the correction. It has come into my target area down here, which was sitting below that wave A, below 5.7 cents. It has come into the target area that we defined back in, I think it was November. So I think that was fairly accurate, and it just shows the power of Fibonacci levels, the power of the Elliott wave analysis as well. And recently I get a lot of comments that RTA doesn't work, but I haven't seen, show me one. I haven't seen another channel where a price range for VeChain between 5.7 and 3.3 cents was talked about when we were back in November. And the most important thing here is that we can see a very strong reaction to this target area. So it's relevant. Fibonacci levels, in my view, still are the most relevant tool for everybody who's doing technical analysis. They are objective. Of course, there's discussions around when you apply them. That's why you need the wave count and how you apply them. But they are there. They are in nature. They are important. They are just mathematics. So I'm not going to argue with math. So anyway, we are in this ABC correction. That C wave could be finished. It has done what it needs to do in the correction. I talked about that. I issued my buy orders to channel members. We dollar cost averaged in. Anybody who followed me, never financial advice, but of course people can choose to do so. And we are still, however, here in this downtrend, in this descending trend line. Yeah, that is important to highlight. At the moment, this reaction of VeChain still looks fairly weak to me, still looks fairly corrective. Yeah, in some way you could interpret that as a first 5-wave move, but I'm not very happy with the structure down here, especially not because we are still below this trend line, we are still below the 50-day moving average, we are still below the 200-day moving average, and we have come below the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level, below 6.1 cents. That means because that was reached and we broke below it, but we haven't reached the next Fib level at 3.3 cents. My view is that we have more space to come once more lower to the 3.3 cent level. Pretty much if you just extend this trend line, that could happen fairly soon. If we can't break, if VeChain can't break above that trend line, I think this could push us down in one final sell-off to the 3.3 cent level. Of course, even if VeChain breaks above the trend line, not a confirmation that the downtrend is over. We could then still come down once more into that area. Maybe when we can't get through the 7.2 cent level, which is currently where the 50-day moving average is sitting, okay? So it's not over yet, and as I said, the counter reaction to this target area, there is one, yeah, but it's not more significant than anything that we saw, for example, here after the 4th of December drop, and after that drop, we also did talk about a counter reaction on this channel. We did expect a move up. I did even expect a stronger move up back then before we continued our correction, but that stronger move up didn't come. Some cryptos did it, for example, Harmony One, Phantom, Cosmos, they did that, but VeChain didn't. Like, for example, Polkadot and Chainlink, the chart remains fairly weak. Still remains, looks to me like we rolled over, obviously, and we haven't completed it. At least I don't have the confirmation yet. But even if we have completed it, wouldn't be a problem for anybody who followed my buy orders, because they were triggered down here, and we're prepared for further moves to the upside. This area here, as I said in the Solana video, they are not there for fun. They have been defined months ago. I did stick with them, stick to them, whatever you want to call it. And they were my area where with the highest probability you see a turnaround. Now, as you can see, there is still more room for further downside, and it's just not possible to specify it any further. That's just, again, the Fibonacci levels, and the reason for that is because the previous run up was so strong that these Fibonacci levels are so much extended as well. I just can't make them smaller. But I think it was fairly accurate, and now very, very excited to see how this is playing out, because it's really at a decision point. You can see it, how the price is squeezed into an apex here of a descending triangle. Below that support level at 6.1 cents, that's the 0.786 Fib level and the descending trend line. So we just need to wait for the decision here either today or in the next few days. Very similar to my Bitcoin video, what you've seen. I said we need to see the decision here. Even though for VeChain, even if Bitcoin, yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin breaks above 46.5, I think then VeChain could break out here, and then we could see here some impulsive movement, because VeChain, as I said, has seen the low, has seen the target area. Primarily, my expectation would be that we're going to come down once more. For me, the chart still looks too weak. Very similar what we did back here. Yeah, very similar. Back after the 4th of December drop. So it's not much different to me. Yeah. The difference is that if Bitcoin really unlocks much higher prices, then VeChain could of course do it as well. So for me, the only way to really play the market in this scenario here at the moment, in these price levels, personally, I don't try to catch the lowest low. Sometimes you just don't get it. And in this whole area here, in this whole range, to dollar cost average in, for me, is the right decision to do. The next major wave up for VeChain, and it just needs a bit patience, yeah. But these are life-changing prices in my view, and opportunities for VeChain, not only for VeChain, for other cryptos as well. You can see where this arrow is going, and of course it won't go up in a straight line. It would be nice if it did. This, to be fair, looked a bit like a straight line here back in March and April 21, but I expect something similar back then as well. Now after the completion of the correction as well, something like a rocket start, because you saw here a wave 1, now you're in the wave 2, maybe complete, maybe not, too early to say, but the wave 3 should be a rocket start, and that could take the prices up to at least 45 cents. That is the price target that you expect after a in a wave 3, at least. Yeah, at least. So the next logical level would then be the 55 cents, and yeah, obviously higher is possible, but at least it would be that 45-cent level. And from now, I mean, it's not quite a 10x from here, but let's just assume we would drop once more to that 0.887 FIB level at 3.3 cents. Yeah, that would be very, very interesting, and then you could really see more than a 10x, you know, and possibly even a 15 or 20x for VeChain. So the chart is looking interesting now. Hope you liked the update about VeChain. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe join as a channel member. You can do that on my website or here on YouTube, and you can find the link for both options in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.